And we are back with spring being here. Millions of Americans are using the opportunity to spend more time being active outdoors. And sharing now how to make the most out of America's trails is the Vice President of Communications at Rails-to-Trails Conservancy. We've got Brandi Horton. And Brandi, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
It's a beautiful time of the year, at least for us. It's opportunity to see people really get outdoors and make the most of it. And so we talk about making the most of it. So I want to talk about a few things, but first off, I want to tell you that Earth Day is right around the corner, huh?
Earth Day is around the corner, and it's also a really special Earth Day because it coincides with Celebrate Trails Day, which is the annual springtime celebration of the nation's trails. So it's a perfect day to get outside and to be active.
And when we talk about trails, a lot of people take advantage of them during the spring, the summer, the opportunity to really check it out. Talk to us about the uniqueness of trails and really how people are gravitating more and more towards them.
So multi-use trails in particular, these are spaces where you can walk, you can bike, you can push a stroller. If you're using a mobility device like a wheelchair, they're really accessible. Many multi-use trails are built from former railroad corridors, and because of that, they have a gentle grade. You know, trains didn't like to go uphill, and so these trails kind of are more accessible in that way. They also tend to have a hard packed surface, so it makes them a really special place where you can do all different kinds of activities. You can go out with little kids, you can be out there regardless of your ability level, and really kind of enjoy those spaces. They're also great because if you live in an urban environment or you live in a suburban environment, sometimes you forget about the nature that's all around you, but you can be on the trail and kind of immersed in nature so quickly, whether that's, access to the waterfront, access to green space, animals and wildlife, all sorts of things happen on the trail. I live outside of DC and I see deer almost every day on my commute into the office, which, a lot of times people wouldn't expect. That's a great example.
So talk to me about some of the possibilities for somebody. Maybe they're not a trail expert, maybe they haven't done this before, but what are some of the things that people can do to really, access, get out there and make the most of this spring season?
I think one of the most important things to say is to just get out there and do it. There's no wrong way to use the trail. So some folks want to get out there and just kind of find a bench and be immersed in nature and really enjoy that experience. Some folks, maybe it's a short 10 or 15-minute walk just to clear your mind and, and shake the cobwebs out. Some folks are going to make it a whole day and they might want to bike 100 miles, right? There's all sorts of options. The beauty is that there are so many trails in New York. There's over 130 trails in your state. Some of you might be familiar as well with the Empire State Trail, which is 750 miles. There's so many chances to connect with trails all across New York, and in New York City too. The Hudson River Greenway is just a beloved pathway. So there's no wrong way. I think the best thing to do is get out your sneakers or get out your bike and make a plan and get out there and do it. And April 22nd is a perfect day to make that happen.
So you have Celebrate Trails Day, and then you also have Earth Day, the two actually right there. And there's an importance there because for you, I mean, obviously, having the opportunity to continue to have people take to the trails, become more aware of the trails, but then also it's the all nature and Earth Day. Talk to us about that correlation.
Well, trails have such an incredible impact in our communities in so many different ways. For us, physical health, mental well-being, trails are invaluable, right? They give us space to be active. They help us kind of hit our physical activity goals, all of those kinds of things. But when we talk about places, trails do something really special. They create community in ways. They bring people together. When you're out on the trail, it's really rare that you see somebody who's not happy. People are waving at each other. You're meeting neighbors you might not otherwise ever have a chance to kind of connect with. And there's some common ground in that space. They also provide important transportation options for folks. And that is something people don't often think about, right? Most of the car trips in our country are within a 20-minute walk or a bike ride. And so when trails are kind of connected into the community, connected to each other, connected to sidewalks and other transportation infrastructure, suddenly you can use them as ways to get around. They're protected from vehicle traffic. It's a little bit safer. That helps reduce your carbon footprint. The other thing that trails do for the environment is they just really kind of build a deeper connection and appreciation for all of us us to nature. When you're out there and you're able to kind of experience the wildness that's all around you, again, even a city or a suburban space, suddenly your stewardship is built. Suddenly you believe more in the importance of protecting the space. So whether it's building that stewardship or kind of taking a deeper action and swapping out a car trip for a trail trip, trails serve a really important role in helping kind of create climate action in our communities and in our day-to-day lives.
But also, you have to admit that it's also about a safe space, right? That there is some safe space for somebody to come out and walk, exercise, take an opportunity to take a ride, and do it in such a way that is, relaxing and at the same time it's scenic, and it really is healthy.
That's right. My best days of the week are the weeks that I decide to bike to work, right? So my body's pumping. I've had some really great fresh air. I might have bumped into one of my dear friends,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden my day is just off to a totally different start. So having that safe space, you're away from vehicle traffic. That is just so important for so many people to getting active and kind of being active in outdoor spaces.
Yeah. So, what do people do if they want to get connected, they want to support? Because in addition to Earth Day and taking to the trails, there is some public support that can be given to support this endeavor.
All the time. So rails2trails.org is going to be the hub for everything. Whether it's becoming a member of Rails to Trails Conservancy and really kind of being a part of that grassroots advocacy, or taking kind of an independent action, or participating in days like Celebrate Trails Day, which are really important demonstrations of the importance of trails all across the country to our local leaders, to our elected officials at all levels of government. Rails2trails.org is where you can find all of that information. So there's events for Celebrate Trails Day you can find there. There's tips and there's information for being active outside on trails. And there's also an app called Trail Link that you can download to your phone or you can get from the web that helps you to find trails near you. So if you want to find a new trail or you want to kind of discover some opportunities that you haven't been aware of before, great tool for you. You can also find us on social media at Rails to Trails and tag us on Celebrate Trails Day, hashtag Celebrate Trails. And a big part of this is just lifting the story of how important trails are to all of our day to day lives so that it's valued as infrastructure that should be invested in as a country.
Yeah. Well, Brandi, one, thanks so much for joining us and being here talking about Rails to Trails Conservancy. And she is the Vice President of Communications. And thank you so much for being with us and give us a little bit more insight. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All righty, Brandi Horton, our guest here. And guess what? If you want more information, visit the website at rails2trails.org and then also follow them on social media at Rails to Trails.